Hey guys, Vernon Croy here from DocSports.com for Saturday, November 29th, 2025. Going to get to the Croy's College Football Report in just a moment. First of all, give the video a big thumbs up, hit that subscribe button below as we do several free pick videos for you every single day right here on the Doc Sports YouTube channel. Now, Doc Sports has been around for 53 years. I've been doing this professionally for the last 26 years, so make sure that you hit that subscribe button right now. Now, before we get to your college football report, at the time of doing this video, I'm currently 17-4 to start the college basketball season, up $6,700 already. Make sure that you get my college basketball package right here exclusively at DocSports.com. I'm also up over $5,100 this NFL season. I do have 3 top NFL plays remaining, 7-unit NFL play going Sunday, 5-unit NFL play going Sunday. Then I have you covered on Monday Night Football with my 6-unit NFL play. Make sure that you get the picks right here exclusively at DocSports.com. Now let's get to your college football report, and it starts on Saturday. Your first matchup is between Colorado at Kansas State. Kansas State's currently favored anywhere from -17 to -17.5 across all books. Rightfully so. This is a Colorado team that has really struggled. They're coming off a 29-22 loss against West Virginia at West Virginia. Before that, they were blown out at Arizona. Actually at home against Arizona, 52-17, despite being just 4.5 point underdogs. Before that, they go to Utah, they were blown out 53-7. Kansas State's gonna put up a big number here. We're taking Kansas State against spread. We can get them -17 over Colorado. Your next matchup, we're looking at Miami at Pittsburgh. Miami's currently favored -7 across most books, -7.5 at a couple. Miami is coming off an impressive 41-7 victory against North Carolina State. Before that, Syracuse 38-10 victory. Both those were home games. In Miami's last road game, it was against SMU. They lost that game 26-20, despite being favored by 10 points. In their second last road game, it was against Florida State. At Florida State, 28-22 victory. They covered the spread in that game. Pittsburgh comes into this game off a blowout loss against Notre Dame. They were 13-point underdogs. They lost that game 37-15. Can Pittsburgh hang around in this game? I believe that they can. It comes down to their defensive play. Pittsburgh has allowed 325 yards per game overall this season. Just 90.3 yards per game against the run this season. So they can stand up against the run. And this is a Miami offense that has averaged 156 rushing yards per game overall this season. I do expect Pittsburgh to keep this game close. We can get Pittsburgh +7.5. We're taking Pittsburgh +7.5 over Miami. Your next matchup, we're going to go Boston College at Syracuse. Boston College is currently favored -3. I don't think there's any way Boston College should really be favored in this game. They're 1-10 on the season. Syracuse is 3-7 on the season. I understand that Syracuse is coming off a blowout loss at Miami, 38-10. They did cover the spread of 28.5 points in that game. Before that, they lost at home against North Carolina, 27-10. They've really struggled defensively this season. This is a Boston College team that's really struggled as well defensively. They are coming off a close 2-point loss at Georgia Tech, despite being 16.5-point underdogs. I still like Syracuse a lot at home in this spot. I just don't like this Boston College team at all. I think Syracuse is definitely the play at home. We're going to take the Syracuse Orange against spread. We can get them +3. Actually, we can get +3.5 over Boston College. Your next college football pick for Saturday is between Oregon and Washington. This is an Oregon team's currently favored -7 against Washington. Washington is coming off a dominant victory against Purdue, 49-13 victory at home against Purdue. They covered the spread of 14.5. In their second last home game, they beat Illinois 42-25, despite being favored by just 3 points in that game. Third last home game, 38-19 against Rutgers. They covered the spread of 9.5. And then their fourth last home game, they lost against a very good Ohio State team, 24-6. I expect Washington to keep this game close. They could pull off the upset. At times, I have been not impressed with Oregon. They came away with a 21-7 victory at home against Wisconsin, despite being favored by 31 points. They are coming off a 42-13 victory at home against Minnesota. Their last road game, they went to Iowa. They won that game 18-16, despite being favored by 4.5 points. They have failed to cover the spread in 3 of their last 5 games overall. I expect Washington to keep this game close. We're taking the Washington Huskies +7 over the Oregon Ducks. Your next matchup, we're looking at Florida State at Florida. Florida State's currently 1-point underdog against Florida. It's basically a pick'em. Florida State is 5-5 on the season. Florida's 3-7. Florida does have some key victories for sure. They beat Texas at home 29-21 back on October 4th. I actually gave you Florida in that game. That was a premium play for me. They were 4.5-point underdogs, and they won outright against Texas. Against Georgia at home, they lost by just 4 points against a very good Georgia team, despite being 7-point underdogs. I do like Florida a lot in this spot, actually. Florida has shown at times that they can step up defensively this season, especially against the pass. They have allowed just 223 passing yards per game, 23.6 points per game. But you look at that game against Georgia, holding Georgia just 24 points in that loss, putting up 20 points against that Georgia defense. I like Florida. We're going to take the Florida Gators at home, -1 over the Florida State Seminoles. Your next matchup, we're looking at Virginia Tech at Virginia. Currently, Virginia is favored -9.5. I don't think Virginia should be. They are 9-2 on the season. I understand that. They're 5-1 at home. Virginia Tech is 3-7 on the season. They're 1-2 away from home. Virginia Tech is coming off a blowout loss at Florida State. Before that, they were at home against Louisville. They lost that game 28-16, failing to cover the spread of 10. Before that, they were at home against California. They won that game 42-34. I think this is going to be a much closer game than many might anticipate. Virginia did lose their last home game against Wake Forest, 16-9, despite being favored by 6.5 points in that game. Now, their second last home game, they won against Washington State, 22-20. Failing to cover the spread, not even close. They were favored by 15.5 points in that game. They really failed to cover the spread there. I expect Virginia Tech to keep this game close. We can get Virginia Tech +9.5 over Virginia. Your next matchup, we are looking at UNLV at Nevada. UNLV is currently favored -7.5 points. I don't really like the hook there. UNLV has been playing very good football. They're coming off back-to-back victories against Colorado State and Utah State. Utah State in their last game, 29-26, they failed to cover the spread of 5 points. Nevada, on the other hand, they are coming off 55-10 blowout victory, despite being 9.5-point underdogs. At times this season, you don't know which Nevada team you're going to get. They go to New Mexico. They lost that game 24-22, despite being 13.5-point underdogs. They go to Fresno State. They lose that game by just 3 points, despite being 13.5-point underdogs. I do expect Nevada to show up in this game. They've shown at times that they can this season. As long as they can somewhat stop the run, UNLV's averaged 201 rushing yards per game this season. Nevada's allowed 150 rushing yards per game, so they will have to step up defensively against the run, which I think they can do. We're going to take Nevada +7.5 over UNLV. Your next matchup, we are looking at SMU at Cal. SMU is currently favored -13 to -13.5 at most books. SMU is coming off a dominant victory against a bad Boston College team at Boston College, 45-13. Before that, they beat Miami at home, 26-20, despite being 10-point underdogs. SMU is hands down the superior team. California is coming off a very impressive victory, a 29-26 victory at Louisville, despite being 18.5-point underdogs. Before that, they failed to cover the spread in 4 straight games against Virginia, Virginia Tech, North Carolina, and Duke. They are at home, I understand that, but SMU is the superior team here, big time. SMU has averaged 406 yards per game overall this season, 122 rushing yards per game, more importantly, 284 passing yards per game. They will have success on the ground against this California defense that has allowed 155 rushing yards per game this season. SMU has averaged 32.2 points per game this season. Cal has allowed 25.2 points per game this season. We're taking SMU against spread -13 over California. And that concludes the Croy's College Football Report for this week, for Saturday. Give the video a big thumbs up. Post in the comment section. Let me know what you think about these predictions for Saturday. Thanks for your time as always. In winning, Vernon Croy.